Great day. Welcome to the House of Cons. A tribe up on Blackjack. A salute to the chat. You know what I'm saying? Monaga in the house. Brian Flat, Power God in the house. Aaron Jordan in the house. Salute, tribe up. Everybody that's new, hit that like, subscribe, share the video, Monaga. It don't take but a second, Monaga. We over here in the stronghold of the Naga. We over here in the Americas, Monaga. Hey, salute to my Alabama Nagas. Salute to my Nagas all over the Americas. But today, hey, we ride for Alabama. We ride for my bound Nagas. Matter of fact, hold up, before we get started, matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna throw the hat up in the air for the bound Nagas. Salute. Y'all know what that means when that hat get thrown up. Tribe up. Throw the hat in the air and it's time to tribe up. We throw the hat in the air and then we tribe up like them bam knockers. We're gonna put the wham bam on the colonize off in this piece. Salute. We about to tribe up on another show one more again. And lately I've been dropping all day today. I've been dropping the Naga News Brief Daily. So y'all be looking out for those Naga News Brief Daily videos. They're gonna be like 5 minutes or less. It's gonna be just some current events that's affecting the Naga. So that's why I said I'm gonna start doing. I said I need to get in on this news event stuff. I need to start popping off on the news event. So I said I'm gonna drop Naga News daily, and I'm gonna still do my regular live streams like the one tonight. You know what I'm saying, an hour long or so. You know what I'm saying. We're talking about deep issues like Negrophilia, Monaga. Speaking of the title of the night show, Negrophilia, Monaga. Y'all saw that intro. You know they always up a Naga ass, right? Salute. Always up in the Naga business, sniffing around the Naga ass, man. These people are infatuated, Monaga. They are infatuated with the Nagas. And we're talking about Negrophilia, Monaga. And we're looking at this intro from a third eye point of view, not a bird eye point of view, third eye point of view. And my little catchphrase, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I try to do this thing professional. Blackjack got a catchphrase, Monaga. I got some shows lined up. I got some good shows, Monaga. I got some good shows on the way, Monaga. Y'all stay tuned. Check this out from a third eye point of view. We're looking at this Negrophilia, Monaga. What is Negrophilia? If you know what Negrophilia is, hit me up in the chat and let me know what you know about Negrophilia. But in the meantime, we're going to look at this image from a third eye point of view, not a bird eye point of view. We're going to see what we see. All right. Clearly, we see a female Naga, and then we see some two colonizers. One is like a Britishman. He like a bummy Britishman. The other, I'm not sure. He may be Irish, man. He may be an Irish convict slave shipment. But they're examining the female Naga's rear end. He got a scope on. He's trying to measure her. He said, you can sit a glass on that thing. He's just measuring away. Look at this old pervert. He's a pervert, my Naga. You big dummy. Yeah, he's a pervert, my Naga. That's a pervert. Colonizer pervert. He may be a Portugal pervert, my Naga. But let's see what else we can see from this. Can anybody read what it's saying in the background? Let's blow it up some more, see if we can see what we can read what it's saying. Blow it all the way up, son. Scroll it down. Let's see if we can get the drop on what it's saying. It says, hold on, I'm gonna have to get close to this. Let me move my mic. I'm gonna have to get close, y'all. I'm gonna have to get close, my Naga, because I can't see it. It says, well, I never expected. Hold on, let me blow it up a little more so I can really see it. This Streamlabs screen ain't very big. You know what? I got a better idea. I can just do this so I can see what I'm looking at. All right, that's a little better. It says, well, I never expected. What? Can y'all see that? See, they got the writing so light, I can't even really see the writing, man. Blow it up a little more. Let me see if I can see it, man. I tried to find a better picture, but this is the best one I could get. It said, well, I never expected something bottoms. What it says? I can't see it, y'all. Y'all tell me what it said in the chat, man. My screen too small on this laptop. I can't see it, man. I can't see it, y'all. I can't see it, my Naga. You got something slick to say though. Let me turn my TV monitor on. Let me see if I can see it on my monitor, y'all. Let me try it up for a minute, man. Let me see if I can see it on my monitor then. I can't even see it, man. Not on my laptop. Let's see. Cause I want to read what it says. I know the live stream lagging, so I'm gonna have to let it catch up on the monitor, and I'm gonna have to read from there. But let me make sure I got it muted though. Yeah, all right. Let's see what we got here, y'all. All right, now I'm on deck on the monitor. I'm gonna go back to that screen. Let me see if I can see it on the monitor. Let's see. I want to read what it says, Managa. Hey, salute the only big tree in the house. Only big tree in the house, tribe up. All right, let me give it a second to catch up. Let me see what it's gonna tell me. Let me see what it's gonna say. It says, well, it say, well, I never expected broad bottoms from they say Africa, from Africa, broad bottoms from Africa. So they talking Nagas. I guess they're talking Nagas from Africa on this one, but they still talking Nagas. So we investigating. They say from Africa. What else to say? Let me slide it over so I can see the rest. I got that check, the arrow in the front of it. I'm gonna pull up the source where it come from. I just want to take a look at some of this though. It says broad bottoms, right, from Africa. Sisters in Africa got broad bottoms. It says, but one should never win. Hold on, I'm gonna have to go to the source, y'all. There's too much going on here. Before I go to the source though, we're gonna still investigate it from a third eye point of view, but we're gonna just look at the artwork and see what we see. And then I'm gonna go to the source and see if we can read it better. If we can't read it on the source, I'm gonna continue with the stream on what we're talking about, Negrophilia, Manaka. Alright. Let me blow it back down. Alright, so we're looking at the image. We know we see two colonizing sisters. They're measuring her buttocks, Managa. Look how the sister's dressed. They saying she's an African. She's possibly an African. This doesn't necessarily has anything to do with America, but we investigate everything, Managa, you know. She has on shoes. Alright. She has it's like she's holding a spear, Managa. And like it might be an African spear. Alright. Is she smoking something? Look like she's smoking something. She got a headband on. It look like what else she got on. Alright, let's go to the real image. I'm finna go to the real image, y'all. Start playing. Let me get my screen back together. So if you want to find this image, all you gotta do is type in you go to Google and then type in oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, let me back it up. All you do is go to Google and type in Negrophilia. And right now I'm on images, right? We on images right now, but I'm gonna back it up some. And we're gonna talk about what Negrophilia is. We'll see y'all saw where the image come from. All right, well let's go back though. So Negrophilia, you got Wikipedia, got an article, The Guardian, a double-edged infatuation. Oh, Negrophilia is about infatuated. Who's infatuated with the Negroes? The colonizers? They got a sexual infatuation about you, Managa. That's why they want to mix you out. The term Negrophilia itself describes the craze for black culture that was prevalent among avant-garde artists and bohemian types in 20th century Paris. Look at 20th century Paris, Managa. You know the Paris, you know they've been calling you a bone savage.
Au bon sauvage. Au Negre l'Amérique.
Yeah, the Paris infatuated with Naga, huh? In Paris they making clocks. The French making clocks of a Naga. Call it a bone savage clock. Bone savage, B-O-N savage, Managa. Whoever don't know. Negrophilia, avant-garde, Paris, black culture. Oh, okay, Paris, Wiktionary. Negrophilia, uncountable, now offensive or historical. An affection for or interest in things related to the black race. Okay, so I guess the bone savage clocks that the French made, I guess that account as Negrophilia, huh? Negrophobia, Negrophilia, yeah, Negro plus philia. Okay, so they got infatuation with you, Managa. That's why they painted you so much. That's why they made clocks of you, Managa. They did so much of the Naga because they was infatuated, Managa. The word Negrophilia is derived from the French Negrophile, that means love of the Negro. Salute. Oh wow, love of the Negro. You mean to tell me the French had love of the Negro, even though they was enslaving the Negro, huh? But they so-called got love for the Negro, huh? They wanted to have the Negro to themselves. They wanted to own you Negroes. They loved y'all, right? They loved you enough to try to own you. Yeah, the French. Yeah, same people that called the Pawnee Indians slaves. Pawnee became synonymous for slave in the French Louisiana Purchase, my nigga. Yeah, the French. You know, the bone. I ain't gotta even pull up the Bone Savage. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, it was a term that avant-garde artists used amongst themselves to describe their fetishization of black culture. They was fetishizing the Naga, huh? Negrophilia, huh? Fetishizing the Naga, huh? You got a fetish for a Naga, huh? I see what's going on here. Fetishizing the Naga culture, Naga land. Its origins were concurrent with art movement such as surrealism and Dadaism in the late 19th century. Oh, the late 1800s. What a coincidence. Same time they was doing the Bone Savage class. Yeah. The late 19th century. Right? Hold on. Just a real quick, just for a quick reference for those that don't know, 19th century French pendule is clock. Pendule of the Negre, the Bone Savage, my nigga. They called you the Bone Savage because they knew you was the American Indian, my nigga. They called you the Bone Savage. They was in fact just fetishizing you, my nigga. You and your bow and arrow, they was fetishizing you, my nigga. They called you Pendule au Negre. Called you a Pendule au Negre or Bone Savage, my nigga. A Bone Savage, Pendule au Negre, Elamadi Negre, Bone Savage. They fetishize you, my nigga, the French in the 19th century, just like that damn clock just showed you, right?
Au bon sauvage, au Négré l'Amérique, et l'Amérique négrée.
Oh, French was fetishizing. Oh, they wanted a piece of you. They wanted a piece of you, huh, in the 19th century. Sources of inspiration were inanimate African art. No, we know that the Bone Savage is the American Indian. The Bone Savage has nothing to do with the African. The African is not the character of the Bone Savage. The American Indian is, Monaga. Art objects, art negre, right? Art negre, right? Right, 19th century, right? Pendule, all negre, all Bone Savage. The All Bone Savage is not an African. The All Bone Savage is an American Indian. The All Bone Savage, All Bone means the noble savage. The noble savage is the All Bone Savage. We're going to go over this 1,000 times. I don't care because it relates to everything. They keep calling you savage. They got you calling yourself a savage. And it relates the noble savage, the All Bone Savage. The French called you that. It relates to the American Indian, not an African, the noble savage Indian, Monaga, in America, not Africa. So the Pendule au Negre, All Bone Savage is of America, Monaga, not Africa. Feathers up, bow and arrow, Monaga. Pearls and hoops, Monaga. They was fetishizing you. You got the nerve to say African. Stop lying. An object art negre, such as masks and wooden carvings that found their way into Paris's flea markets and galleries, alike as a result of colonial looting of America, not Africa, of America, and which inspired artworks such as Picasso's Les Demours, right, as well as live performances by black people, many of whom were ex-soldiers remaining in European cities after World War I, who had no choice but to entertain as a source of income. Equally of interest to avant-garde creators were live arts such as dance, music, and theatrical performance by black artists, as evidenced by the popularity of comic artist Chocolate and the musical review. There's not a name, Chocolate. Let's see how he look. Oh, they ain't show a picture, huh? Chocolate, huh? They ain't that knocker chocolate. Talking about Afro-Cuban. See, he's American, not an African at all. He's an American. He's an American. He's an All Bone Savage, right? He's a Bone Savage, right? He's a Pendule au Negre. He's not African. He's American. He's nappy-headed and dark-skinned. He's American. Cuba, America, Monaga. Chocolate. Chocolate come from Cuba. I mean, come from America, Colombia. What the hell they talking about Africa? These are bold-faced lies. And we see right through them over here. Factors, ideas influencing the emergence of Negrophilia. What began as an artistic interest grew to a society-wide mass fetish in French in France in the aftermath of World War I, during which an entire generation of youth was lost. The violence and loss witnessed in Europe, and particularly in France, by those who survived, challenged the belief in the superiority of Western civilization. See, not African Western. See, fostered during the Age of Enlightenment, which also fueled questions of the exploitative effects of colonialism, colonization, Managa. French society was looking for alternative ideologies, and the exotic primitive cultures of French colonies, erstwhile and current, were seen as alternatives to cold capitalism and modernity. The post-war ideology vacuum thus fed off of earlier artistic movements centered around primitivism. Simultaneously, the arrival of numerous American, not African American, American soldiers during the war years, their subsequent decisions to return to or remain in post-war France, as well as numerous incoming artists, students, writers, and professionals of color seeking accepting ground for themselves and their work, were significant contributors to the pervasiveness of Negrophilia in French society. Negrophilia was never really about the Negro, but about yeah. It was always about the Naga. It needs its wants and desires. They said it was about France's needs, wants, and desires, my Naga. Significant personalities emerging from Les Années Folles. The fetishization, look at the sister, they fetishizing that sister curves. They say, they said Josephine Baker, I gotta have a piece of that. That's what the French was saying about Josephine Baker. In her famous skirt of bananas, my naga. A skirt of bananas. Oh, what a coincidence. Quite American, my naga. Her performance in La Foire de Jour, my naga. With her pearls on, my naga. I miss nothing, my naga, with her pearls on, my naga. Fetishization of foreign cultures has already been established within France due to regular expositions the country held to showcase the objects and people of the French colonies. The people of their colonies. Where? Like the Louisiana Purchase in America, Managa? You talking about those colonies? The people of those colonies, Managa? Like the Pawnee Indians that you made synonymous with slave, Managa? The fascination with specificality, black culture, with the fascinations with specifically black culture and the primitivized existence associated with it flourished in the combined aftermath of the First World War, 1914 and 1918, and the 1931 colonial exposition, when artists yearned for a simpler, idyllic lifestyle to counter modern life mechanistic violence. Yet to advertise the colonial exposition, the organizers relied on racist imagery in a children's comic book in the form of a character, Ninufar, who personified the savage. Okay, here we go with the savage stuff again. We just went over what the savage was. With childlike curiosity, not the colonized, oppressed peoples. Picture with steel wool hair, Managa. Yeah. And practically naked, except for a loincloth. Oh my gosh, here we go, man. You can't make it up. This stuff, I can't even, nobody, I don't even know how some people come over here talking about what I'm making up. I can't make this up. Cuffs and gloves on his feet, he appears to be aiming for, but failing at assimilation, Managa. He's aiming to assimilate, but he's failing, Managa. What a picture of it at? They don't have a picture of that. I wonder what that looked like. What they describing. Avant-garde artists recognized for their Negrophilia interests include poet and art critic Guillaume Apollinaire, Guillaume Apollinaire, like Apollo, Apollinaire, Guillaume Apollinaire, artist Jean Cocteau, Tristan Zada, Man Ray, Paul Collins, Surrealist, George Batel, and Michael Leans. All these fucking Frenchmen, Managa. And political activist Nancy Conrad. The During Lindy Hop or the Black Bottom. The Black Bottom is a dance which became popular during the 1920s. Okay, America, Managa. Don't say African American. No, America. In the rural South, Managa. With signs of being modern and fashionable. Perhaps the most popular review and entertainer during the time was La Revue Négrier, 1925, starring Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker, right? Regarding Baker and her style of dancing, a literary critic at the time, Gerard Barr, called this the dawning of the romanticism of color, meaning dark skin, color, meaning dark skin, as opposed to exoticism, because romanticism was felt by the heart and was not just a scientific inquiry, Barr. Like the scientific inquiry, like how they was inquiring on the sister on rear end. That's what they mean, that kind of scientific inquiry. That Barr, the biological but illegitimate grandson of the author Alexander Dumas Pérez, his father Henry was born of an extramarital relationship, was a prolific author and chronicler in Paris, and would later become a member of the Académie Goncourt and the Saartjie des Lettres, Society of Persons of Letters, which defended the rights of authors. As he described it, the animal-like intensity of Josephine Baker's he talking about when she was twerking. He talking about animal-like intensity of Josephine Baker's dancing. For example, it transported the viewer to a new state of feeling and not just curiosity. In addition to her color and near complete nudity, what elicited these feelings were Mrs. Baker's movements, near perpetual trembling, her body extended like a serpent with elements of it. He's talking about a serpent, what? A serpent king, Managa? With elements of a contortionist and ending on all fours with her head on the stage and her derriere in the air. Yeah, she was twerking. Similarly, they're talking about the African, right? They want to compare you to Africans. The bal negre. Due to World War I, France saw an influx of African colonials migrate into Paris. This sudden rise in diversity, so they're talking about in Paris, led while Parisians to become fascinated by the introduction of and immersion of black cultures in the city. During the late 1920s, several Parisian nightclubs began hosting balls of authentic African-inspired dances, which were very popular among both the black and white French crowds. These balls became one of the leading interracial social spaces in France. Now see, this is in France, but see, look, now they're talking African Americans in France. See, oh, let me get this way y'all can see it. My bad, tribe. I'm just reading off. Make sure y'all can see what I'm reading though. See, they love to jump from Africa and then say African Americans. They're talking about American Negroes, not African Americans. We're not African Americans. We've been here since creation. So when they want to throw us all in one group, right? They want to say these niggas in America, they Africans too. They Africans too, right? They want to say well, African immigrants. They say the jazz music, see, America. There was no jazz music in Africa. In America, Managa. African immigrants went to a bal colonial or bal negre for recreation fun. French surrealists often came for the scientific observation of black culture. The jazz music and dancing found in black nightclubs was studied by surrealists as major components of black civilization, Managa. This appreciation of the right lifestyle of black Africans, no. And black African Americans in France, no. American Negroes, American Indians, Managa, that's where the jazz come from, was really the French sexualizing and fetishization of Nagas, right? Black culture. The balls were also one of the most prominent areas for interracial exchanges and relationships to occur. Hidden in the dark of night, young French and Naga adults could socialize and interact in ways that were highly controversial in average European society. Yeah, they wanted to sleep with the Naga, man. You know what I'm saying? They was gay and all, man. They were trying to sleep with Nagas, man. You know what I'm saying? They got all kind of stuff going on. To the average Frenchman, the bal negre was considered an opportunity for exotic experiences and sexual freedom. See, that's why all this sexual freedom and liberation and shit, man, that shit is wickedness, Managa. Next thing you know, you in bed, you in bed with a funky ass Frenchman, Managa. You in bed with a mankind monkey man. You in bed with a Neanderthal, Managa. You talk about all this sexual freedom, Managa. The Most High ain't said nothing about sexual freedom. He said tribe up, Managa. Black party goers were no longer thought to be in these balls for their own enjoyment but for the interests of white guests. As the appeal for exoticism rose, the opportunity for white people to interact and dance with black people became very attractive. This promise of exotic experimentation made these nightclubs very popular with the French bougie and turned them into tourist attractions. Interracial dating gave the French a sense of liberation, Managa. See these same words, liberation, right? Liberation and sexual freedom, monogamous. That same catchphrase they got a lot of you niggas doing today. A lot of feminists call it out like I see it. These same words y'all using, the LGBT, Black Lives Matter, these same words, sexual freedom and liberation, man. Fuck all that, man. We ain't on that, you know what I'm saying? We ain't on that. We conservative. We ain't conservative in as far as like political. We conservative with our lifestyle, monaga. We live by the law of the Most High, monaga. We ain't out here with all this sexual freedom and liberation, monaga. That's stupid. That's evil. That's wickedness, monaga. The promise of exotic experience. I ain't trying to experiment with no fucking monkey. French bourgeois turned to church. Interracial dating gave the French a sense of liberation from the conventions of modern society, especially since the French deemed Africa primitive and passionate. These progressive interracial relations did not surpass the walls of the Parisian nightclubs. The racial and social structures remained the same for blacks and whites. Say they go from Africa to blacks. What you mean blacks, monaga? And whites in France during the early 20th century. Concurrent movement and opposing ideas. I guess when they say blacks, they just throwing Africans and indigenous Americans in the same group. They say blacks, call you all of it, right? Concurrent movements and opposing ideas. Negrophilia was a metropolitan movement that also elicited opposition from parts of French society. The combination of African primitive music and American popular culture, see, Negrophilia. What's the two continents they naming? Africa, and they naming the whole hemisphere of the Americas, monaga. They're telling you in your plain face, you gotta slow down and smell the roses, monaga. Negrophilia was a metropolitan movement that also elicited opposition from parts of French society. The combination of black African primitive music and black American popular culture, two different groups, monaga. Through presentations such as La Revue Négre was a threat to refined French taste. Not all Parisians welcomed incoming foreigners in the interwar years. They were seen as competition for employment opportunities in a recovering economy. Nor was Paris free from racism. Dissenting voices were strengthening in the French colonies. An example is the formation of the Association Pan-Africaine in 1921. See, Pan-Africaine, monaga. I ain't no Pan-African, monaga. I ain't on that. Post the Pan-African Congress. Soldiers from, see, they trying to say all you niggas from everywhere across the world, Australia and everywhere, y'all African, y'all Pan-Africans, y'all belong in Africa. No, that's some other niggas' land. Get out them niggas deep. How you gonna try to stuff us on they land? You know, it'll be war. That's they land. And they should fight and die over it. Just like we'll fight and die over ours. Y'all saw what happened in Bound today. Get your ass hit upside the head with a chair around here, colonizer. Soldiers from French colonies who fought on behalf of France during the Great War were voicing demands for citizenship and equality, challenging French colonial power. Man, like these folks coming to your house, man, they telling you, Nagas, you belong across the street. All Nagas live over there. Your neighbor looking like, yeah, I'm black too, but it's my house. It's my house. He stay over there. That's his house across the street. You don't don't come over here talking about all us belong in this house. Who are you? Just because both of us black, or so-called black. You calling us Negro, Negrophilia. Mother. Negrophilia today, cultural appropriation. Monaga. A lot of cultural appropriation going on in America. You know, everybody's culturally appropriation the Americans, monaga. They want to appropriate the cons, monaga. Negrophilia and the fetishization of blackface. Oh, we know what we're talking about. Blackface's bodies, arts, music, and dance that were its manifestations have been criticized for objectifying, sexualizing, and ultimately inviolizing peoples of so-called primitive or exotic cultures in a process of racial othering. The fetishization and selective exploitation of black physical traits, hair, manner of dress, and cultural attributes. Yeah, see, now we talking about manner of dress and cultural attributes, huh? Yeah, I like to see y'all talk about that when y'all talk about these clocks and these other things and all these images that you call it Africans. Talk about the dress and the cultural. These are not Africans, monaga. This is not how Africans dress, monaga. The French know very well who these are. Yeah, the fetishization and selective exploitation. They say they want to be selective with their exploitation of black physical traits, hair, manner of dress, and cultural attributes. Can be seen in contemporary social media, electronic media, and public life by celebrities as well as people seeking celebrity status. The contemporary phenomena of cultural appropriation and blackfishing, catfishing, are you blackfishing, can be called the modern iterations of negrophilia. Members of the dominant social group, in this case white persons, either adopt without acknowledgement certain customs, mannerisms, etc. of peoples of Naga origin, not African origin, Naga origin, not African origin, right? Or in some cases give themselves a completely different racial identity. The objectives as varied, gaining attention, rebuilding a celebrity image, marketing, and business interests. Several public figures from across domains have in the recent past been identified for this commodification of black identity, including Kim Kardashian, Eminem, Ariana Grande, and Rachel Dolezal. Man, they went a little far with that, right? Hey, but anyway, Negrophilia. So let's look at some of these images, though. Before we go, let's look at some of these images. Let's back it up one more time. Yeah, Negrophilia. They say I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other niggas can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in her face, you get strong. That's what they said, right? They say even white boys got shot, baby got back. Negrophilia, right? Look at that. Look at that. They all up in blackface. What's that? Blackface or something? Look at loving that naga. They say you big black naga. They said come here, you big black naga. French all loving nagas, right? Review nigga day. Look at them. Yeah. You got her with a nightgown on. Yeah. They on some sexual shit, y'all. Y'all gotta be careful about these people, man. These booty snatchers out here, man. People trying to snatch some booty, man. Look at them. Oh, this is what they was doing in the dances, huh? Oh, he got a handful of pancakes, my nigga. That nigga got a handful of pancakes. Some of you niggas out here thirsty, my nigga. You love yourself some pancakes, my nigga. I don't like pancakes, my nigga. I like biscuits. You big dummy. These niggas liking pancakes, my nigga. These niggas liking flapjacks. These lily white flapjack knockers. Oh, Negrophilia, my nigga. They want to sex up the devil, huh? But I ain't sleeping with the devil, my nigga. I ain't sleeping with Lucifer, my nigga. That's some weirdo shit, my nigga. I'm just not attracted to that, my nigga. He's like, wow. He's like, that's a nice ironing board you got in there. He's like, boy. He's like, I love a piece of that. Hey, salute, Chief Hawk Eyes, AIU in the house, salute. Let me get a Chief Hawk for a wrench while we try it up. Yeah, he like, that nigga there thirsty. That nigga licking his chops. Look how Bob licking. Bob looking like, hey buddy, I know you're trying to bonker. You big dummy. Bob, look at that. Bob looking at that junk like you trying to bonker and I know it. He's like, and the naga, look, but the naga fly though. Look at the naga got the black top on, the white pants. He's much flyer. He's much flyer than the Neanderthal. The Neanderthal's mad. And Becky's looking back. Becky's looking back. Like you like this ironing board, huh? She's like, you like this ironing board. You want to see me twerk it? That naga thirsty, my naga. That naga thirsty, my naga. Negrophilia, my naga. Negrophilia. I ain't all with all this Negrophilia stuff, man. I ain't with all this, man. Well, maybe I am with Negrophilia. I'm not with colonizerphilia, my nigga. I'm with Negro on Negrophilia. I ain't with all this colonizerphilia. Look at all this, man. Let's see what else they hiding up in here. They hiding stuff, y'all. What's this? Let's see what they got going on, man. They all up here trying to do up some nagas. These people wicked, man. These people demons, man. Look at this. Look at this Negrophilia. What's this? Dang, they got, I don't want to look at all that. I don't want YouTube to go to block up the stream. That look like some Without Sanctuary stuff. Y'all ever seen the book Without Sanctuary? Hit me up in the chat and let me know if you know Without Sanctuary. These weirdos, Managa. These demons, Managa. What else they got with all this Negrophilia? They want to put you in whips and chains, Managa, literally. Look at that. Josephine Baker again, tooting it up. They're like, toot it up, Josephine. Yeah, all this Negrophilia. White people in the Negrophilia of modern times. They say, is Negrophilia going on? This was in 2018. Managa, have you been grabbing flapjacks out here, Managa? Have you been trying to assimilate, Managa? Have you been trying to whiten it up, Managa? Have you been trying to bring it all in the family, Managa? You trying to adopt people in the tribe, Managa? You say, if on the one hand there is a group of white people who strive to make blacks remain in social limbo, on the other hand, there is the insistence on evidencing that they are not racist. But what's problematic about that? Some people perform anti-racist maneuvers only at opportune moments, others all the time, and they don't leave black people alone. An example of this is when they comment to each other or to others, wow, I love black culture. Or my dream to have this black hair, but too bad I was born with this straight and dull, or even eta qua negra linda. Even the supreme deity enters the cake. God bless this melanin that did not give me, and things like that. Woo, boy, they coming home. I gotta read that one again, y'all. God damn, tribe up, tune in. This is House of Cons, Managa. Brought to you by Blackjack. Well, ain't nobody doing it like this. Let's read that again, Managa. They in love. Look at this fetishizing. They worshiping the Naga. They looking at that booty. They looking at that booty, and they said, wow. I love black culture, or my dream to have this big black booty, but too bad I was born with a flat back. This straight and dull, or even eta qua negra linda. Even the supreme deity enters those cakes. He said, wow, those cakes. God bless this melody that did not give me, and things like that. Salute. You big dummy. He ain't worshiping that booty. They worshiping y'all niggas, man. Y'all niggas better be careful out here, man. Y'all be trying to blend in and be equal, and I don't want to live around. I ain't trying to live around them people. Put me in the hood, man. I'm staying in the hood. I'm staying in the hood. Down they say somebody on the hood gonna have to kill me then. They was fetishizing shit out of now. In the 20s, Paris had its culture rejuvenated with the presence of blacks. In this racism saw, they say Africans, right? But we know they talk about Africans and they talk about Americans. If this racism saw an opportunity to remain entrenched today, it happens that now, in a much more subtle way, to love and worship blacks and their cultural exaggeratedly. All right. Historian Petrine Archistra has managed to define this white fascination with blackness after 2 decades of study as Negrophilia, or love of the Negro if you prefer, whose concept of the term originated between 1920 and 1930. It was named by Straw to describe the mad passion of Parisians for Nagas cultures that flooded the French capital in the post-World War I period. Another loophole to reinvigorate cultural consciousness loomed over France's most populous city, Managa. Already in 2010, Eric Rush, an American writer, Managa, followed the same path started by Petrine, continuing his studies in Negrophilics. He said he's studying Negrophilics, Managa. He released the book Negrophilia, From Slave Block to Pedestal, America's Racial Obsession. See, America. Look at that. Not Africa, Managa. America. America's Racial Obsession, in which, according to Rush, he dissects the dynamics of race relations and racial politics with an emphasis of the theme of this text. Since the civil rights movement of the 1960s, studying how conscientious Americans can discern the deeper truths of these matters and thus develop healthier perceptions. The historian and the writer has something in common. They believe that the stupidity of white racism also hid the enormous desire and admiration felt by the Parisian society of the 20th century, and that it extends to the present day. Petrine, in his article for The Guardian, says the following: in the same way that today aspects of black culture proliferate, such as hip-hop, reggae, gangster rap, locks, and Afro hairstyles. No, Afro. See, they always want to throw Afro in there. Stop using that. In the 20s, the craze was dances such as Charleston, Lindy Hop, and Black Bottom. where Nagas inspired clothing and accessories. Negrophilia is therefore about Western culture. See, Africa is not Western culture, Managa. They're saying Africa because you Nagas black, right? Exploiting this perception of difference in such a way that it better reflects white people rather than their exoticized subjects. Black artists of that period saw in entertainment, jazz, and black bottom mainly the opportunity to support themselves. Nevertheless, for French citizens, blackness was a kind of fashion and symbolized modern contemporary current fashion. Still, the fascination always put blacks in dehumanizing position, both from a positive and negative perspective. They were not seen essentially as people with talents and qualities, but as monstrosities, as monstrously brilliant artists or uncultured animals. The last stereotype cited remains fixed. It is the white gaze, Managa, that has defined how blacks are categorized. They want to categorize you, Managa. They want to categorize the Naga, huh? Right? Hey, salute the Sister Soul Man Radio in the house, tribe boy. They say more than that, negrophilia also refers to the fetish analyzed by Foucault, Fanon, and Barber for the black body, both as sexual and sporting paraphernalia. They call you paraphernalia, Managa. Has there never been any suspicious mind about this heightened interest in Mike Tyson? Some see this as something positive, hence their ambivalence. However, this question goes far beyond just understanding the culture of a people because it denies normality, placing them in extreme positions, objects in affection or objects of derision. Managa. Yeah, Managa. Let's see what it says. Expected broad bottoms, right? Should never something despair mind Sherry. Don't let your fiery nose touch the Venus. He said, don't let your nose touch that booty. He said, don't let your red Caucasoid nose touch that Venus booty. He called that booty Venus. For if there's any combustibles man, hey, salute Jay-Z in the house, Tribe Up members in the house. Hold on, I gotta shout out all the members too before we wrap this up. This is funny, man. Got 2 shots for the members, man. Hold on. Hey, this is a bit much, man. They say any combustible gases about her shall be blown up. You know what I'm saying? They saying she fart. Man, I can't help but laugh, man. They so racist to it, so stupid, man. And it's funny at the same time, but they tell them themselves with all this racism, man. They trying to be funny with their corny ass. They say, I should be careful, your lordship. I should be careful, your lordship. Such a spark. What? Your lordship hollow? Something, man. Say it's so gay calling each other lordship. I ain't about to call another man lordship. It ain't my daddy or my granddaddy. The hell wrong with you? A pair in broad bottoms, my knocker. Alright, Saartjie Baartman, the Venus, experienced this very well. During 19th century in London and Paris, Saartjie was displayed caged, naked, like a wild animal that served for the entertainment of that whiteness. It was summed up in her bulging buttocks and all the rest of her body structure, serving only as a fascinating freak for white contemplation. In a publication in the Times, the Venus was defined as a chained bear. Stuart Hall, in the chapter "The Spectacle of the Order" of the book "Culture and Representation," comments on the way in which Baartman was treated by Paris society, always heard by ethnologists and by naturalists. According to him, members of the scientific community of the time measured, observed, drawn, wrote scholarly treatises, made models and also molds of wax and plaster, and analyzed every detail of that booty, of its anatomy, dead and alive, until he died on December 19, 1815, on Bone Savage, around the time of Bone Savage. Now, from an inflammatory disease, there are reports that it may have been smallpox, syphilis, or pneumonia. To be sure, only with access to studies in the epidemic periods of the time. Alright, later Josephine Baker appeared with an erotic dance that enchanted. Yeah, we read about that Josephine Baker dance. Enchanted Parisians avant-garde at the Theatre des Champs Élysées in which she became known as La Baker, La Baker, La Booty, La Booty Baker, the Black Venus, Managa. Patrine says that in a sexualized performance, Baker was dressed only in a banana ring, surrounded by her hip, her expressive contortion. A banana ring, Managa, combined with drum beats, awakened the audience and touched on her viewers' fantasies about black women, Managa, instigating painters like Picasso to desire her as an exotic model for their works, Managa. It was fantasizing these niggas, Managa. It's fantasizing the night. Taz Cole, the CEO in the house. Taz Cole, the CEO in the house, Managa. Tribe Buck. 12 years ago, the singer Beyonce performed. Alright, I don't really want to go all into the new stuff. We can, but let me see how much longer. Alright, yeah, we'll go ahead and finish it up. I just want to see how much longer it is. 12 years ago, the singer Beyonce performed on the stage live at Fashion Rocks. The song Deja Vu from the album B-Day, released in 2006, whose representation was a tribute to Josephine. She was dressed as the embodiment of what Patrine had described, almost identically. In the background, one could see a huge portrait with the image of the Black Venus. In some interviews, Queen B, as she is known, said she was inspired by Baker to choreograph the song about a woman who constantly reminds her of a past love. Some people even thought Beyonce would be copying Shakira. Realize how much not knowing and not knowing your own history can generate completely mistaken interpretations of certain objects, certain subjects, Managa. One more time. Some people even thought Beyonce would be copying Shakira. Realize how much not knowing and not knowing your own history, Managa, can generate completely mistaken interpretations on certain subjects. That is why many people today believe that this modern Negrophilia is nothing more than an imagination of a people in extremism and invention. But those choreographies were acrobats. The Parisian public associated the movements with the somersaults of animals such as the monkeys, Managa. They call you monkeys. These Neanderthals got the nerve to call you monkeys, Managa. These Neanderthal dinner-sober beasts, these tainted bloodlines got the nerve to call you a monkey, Managa. Don't get mad at me then. Doesn't that sound familiar to you? During this period, it seemed that everything was better than black artists, intellectuals, and sportsmen returning to the racial restrictions experienced in North America, which they fled in search of survival, Managa. They fled their own home, Managa. They influenced with their music. They didn't flee Africa, Managa. They had to flee America, Managa. They influenced with their musicality, by the way, great vocals such as the unforgettable Zelda Fitzgerald. Blacks rejuvenated the identity of the Parisian avant-garde. Cultural updating was in full swing, Managa. In a scene from the movie Get Out 2017, Dean Armitage, father Rose Armitage, the patronage girlfriend, tells Chris Washington that he is not a racist because he would vote for Obama a third time. That would be pretty much the same thing as saying, I'm not a racist, I'd even like to have a black power like yours. What would it be like for these people to be fascinated by going on interviews and not being hired precisely because of that hair that they previously admired and wished they had? How would they behave in the countless racist situations experienced at all times by black people? In addition to the fact that the audiovisual production places racism as a phenomenon of horror, we are shown the path by which Jordan Peele decided to tread to evidence the white admiration for black characteristics, especially physical, bringing a secular theme to the present. The film itself helps us understand the fascination and insistence of these people to prove and clarify that they are not racist, even if they benefit from this system, Managa. In this sense, whiteness demonstrates that terms such as heart of palm, milk nest, Parmalat, among others, are as horrifying as Naga peoples being torn from their homelands to be enslaved. Homelands of America, they just said they flee to America, receiving whipping and social backwardness as a reward for not being killed by white hands. Thus we experience a kind of negrophilia of modernity. Maybe after all, for a prejudiced and oppressive society, black culture is fashionable and cool, while blacks know. See y'all. Hey, Tribe Buck, salute. Tribe Buck, salute. Hey, Managa JJ, appreciate the $5 super chat. Managa JJ, Tribe Buck, appreciate the support, Managa. Yeah, Managa. We're gonna keep coming with this, Managa. Yeah, we talking about Negrophilia, Managa. Hey man, I'm finna rev up the content, my nigga. I got more on the way. I got to tribe up with the family in a minute, my nigga. I just wanted to holler at y'all. We out. Salute. Peace.